Ready to serve. All right.
Ready to serve. On my way. On my way. On my way. On my way.
Yes, my king!
On my way. On my way. On my way. On my way.
Yes, my king! All right.
Ready to serve. On my way.
Yes, my king!
Ready to serve.
London is swarming with hedge knights, brave warriors stripped of their lords and lands by the cataclysm, as they have proven themselves. London is home to one of the few universities of Britannia, where they teach the arcane arts, religion, and the tactics of warfare. London is the last safe haven in a vast wasteland. London has a very effective army owing to their strict training methods. You could trust their veterans with the training of your own warriors. King Cole has a very powerful army. He commands great strategists and experienced soldiers. Long ago, the kingdom of Ailment came to realize that they required a force of legionaries. Fine. The She Council has been the most secretive of all the keepers of arcane secrets. However, now they are stranded in Viraconium, cut off from their magical land of Tir na Nog, and they desperately...
Yes, my lord.
There are adepts among the She, who mortals would call wizards, though they themselves prefer the term artificer, for they are naturally adept at creating artifacts. They could assist some of your chosen men by improving their skill in forging artifacts. There are new quarries in the hills of Poet that provide cheap stones as building materials. If you began trade talks to negotiate a long-term agreement for building supplies, it could be very useful for your relationship with the province. There are new quarries in the hills of Poet that provide... The master bowmakers of Sherwood fled to Pengwern to escape Sir Maric's revolt. As a result, Pengwern has begun to form a proper army, one which relies heavily upon veterans of the fierce struggles that followed the cataclysm. This suggests the idea that you might take... Although magic has left Bedegrain Forest, the twisted woods of Pengwern still hide abandoned settlements of the She. irresistible lure to adventurous souls who would risk all to possess the treasures of their former keepers. King Aldrith has neither the time nor the resources to explore these wondrous ruins. But he must. Refugees continue flocking to the new provinces from the areas that have succumbed to the wasteland. But they typically have a difficult...
Yes, my lord.
Yes? On my way! On my way!
Ready to serve. On my way.
Ave, heir of Pendragon, we come in peace. We are humble refugees from the Roman lands of Eboracum, fleeing the madness of our self-proclaimed emperor, Septimus Sulla. He has fallen slave to a great power that restored glory to the former Roman provinces, but also cursed him with terrible ambitions. Soon he will march against the southern territories. Before this happens, please accept some words of friendly advice. We have with us the Emperor's wife, Naevia Sulla, who wishes to speak to you.
Ready to serve. On my way.
Yes? On my way!
Your master Merlin disappeared after the destruction of the Grail and the assassination attempt against King Arthur. You would have been among the first trying to find him, but before you could leave Glastonbury, the Fomorian gates opened close to your sanctuary, and you couldn't risk traveling. Now your only chance is to find the legendary Lady of the Lake, who may know where Merlin could be. The lake where the lady, a creature of dreams and prophecies, used to live is no more. On the empty lakebed, a twisted tower stands, the color of ashes, surrounded by a cloud of swirling smoke. The place reeks of Fomorians, and even here you can feel the presence of the gate to the monstrous realm. The scouts return with a grim-faced man. He was sent here by the Guild of Outlaws to find out how powerful the army of the Fomorian Lord could be. He tells you that you stand no chance against the enemy. You should weaken them before the battle. You are aware of the strong ties between the Fomorians and the gates, and when you sense the same presence here, you begin to look for magical nodes in the area. According to the scouts and the strange warrior, there are a few. They must be the imprints of the demonic gates. The man tells you that you should ambush a few smaller Fomorian bands before you turn against their lord. Then he shows you some of the places where you could attack them. These places must be important to the monsters, the nodes of magic. Your troops hastily get ready for the mission, and soon they disappear into the forest. Then you start to think about your options. Your warriors look worried, but nevertheless they are ready to go. They all know that this battle will be hard or even impossible. Their fellow soldiers salute them wordlessly, while you try to come up with a plan which might give them more of a chance. You fill the medal with your magical powers. When you have finished, you ask the man if he would be able to get atop the gate. He tells you with a sour smile that he just came back from trying just that, and maybe he should try it again when the battle has already begun. meet the Fomorians at the gate and immediately order your men to attack them. You clash beneath ashen clouds. It's a tough battle, and for a fleeting moment you doubt that you could win without serious losses. But you eventually defeat them and leave with only minor wounds. You have destroyed the Fomorian Lord and his horde. You leave your army behind and approach the tower in the middle of the column of smoke. You are constantly aware of the threat of the gate, and you have to be quick, because other demons are breaching this world. You call the lady's name, but nobody answers. You wait in the deathly silence. You expected something like this, but it still fills you with emptiness. Suddenly you are certain that the Lady of the Lake is dead or has left forever. The tower is a twisted and evil place. Its hallways are too big and too dark, and the angles seem all wrong. You walk aimlessly for a long time, but in the end you reach a hall on the top floor. It's still dark, but you feel that you might have found what you are looking for. You stumble around in the smoke and find 2 dead Unseelie warriors killed by magic. You also find a scrying bowl, a very rare magical item. You take it, but you know that first you must fill it with water from the lake. After a lengthy search, you find some water in a puddle, which is no more than 2 steps long. An old runestone stands in the middle, so maybe this is the reason that this little body of water is still there, in spite of the presence of Fomorian magic. The scrying pool shows you images and even relays feelings. You see Merlin, who visited the Lady of the Lake, but he was ambushed. You recognize the attacker. It is Nimue, the infamous Unseelie sorceress. The struggle between the 2 powerful wizards raged on for a full day. The only way Nimue could triumph was to attack the Lady of the Lake, which forced Merlin to sacrifice himself to save her. The Unseelie then took him prisoner and took him away. As soon as you leave the accursed tower, you go to Viraconium, the formerly mortal city, now the seat of the She Council. You may find Nimue there, and maybe you can free Merlin, your master.
You must admit, young Pendragon, that it was a wise decision to seek my help. I've returned from the Tower of Ashes and Dreams with the answers you seek. Merlin did indeed visit the lady, but they were ambushed by Nimue. She is a cold-hearted, treacherous, Unseelie enchantress, but I must admit that she is powerful. Finally, my master sacrificed himself for the lady, and Nimue took him prisoner. I must go to Viraconium to find out who she's working for and where my master is.
The majority of the She departed for Tir na Nog before the gates closed to the realm of Twilight and Thorns, and those who remained in mortal Britannia withdrew to Viraconium, where their numbers continued to shrink due to the constant struggle against the Fomorians. The royal orphanages are full of mortal children who lost their families after the cataclysm, and who would enjoy a better life as changelings, children brought up as warriors among the Sidhe in Viraconium.
Ready to serve. On my way! Did you have any idea, son of Arthur, what you brought upon us when you barged into our sanctuary, rendering it vulnerable to all manner of wickedness? Things have changed for the worst in Glastonbury, and the Fomorian plague has crept into the monastery. There were 2 other apprentices with me, and now Castor, who is an idealist and a fool, mind you, but that doesn't make him any less dangerous, has succumbed to the illness that is turning Glastonbury into a beast's nest. Help us destroy the possessed before Glastonbury falls.
Your magic shield is fading. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your magic shield is under normal strength. The enemy hero is casting a spell. A spell has been cast. The enemy hero is casting a spell. 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 The enemy hero is casting a The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell. A spell was cast. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your soldiers are going to die. The enemy hero is casting a spell.
Fire!
The enemy hero is casting a spell. A spell was cast. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell. A spell was cast. A spell has been cast. Victory is near. A spell has been cast. A spell was cast. A spell was cast.